Sorry I'm late. They blocked off half of central London at dawn.
The state visit of Dr. Robert Zonderberg.
Starting with a be there or else press conference.
Are you going?
Don't be coarse. That sort of job is done by the office boy. We leave genuflecting to the government press.
Change your mind.
Why?
You're being obtuse, Kyle.
It is very early, and I have got a hangover.
Then I'll try to speak slowly. Zonderberg is grey eminence to half a dozen countries.
Yes, and some of them in trouble. He's a wheeler-dealer, he's a Mr. Fix-It, and he's very rich.
And never without a motive. What's Britain best at now, Kyle? Think.
Public control, discipline, genetics, rewriting history, leisure centres.
A complete web of techniques devised and run by experts, all carefully trained.
We'll support home industry, so what's your point?
Which is what Zonderberg intends to do, for export. In the 70s, an oil potentate spent £25 million to set up a football league. Imagine what an entire public control team would fetch on the open market.
Oh, you're Kyle. Fiona Mills Forsyth Brown. I'm new on the British Gazette. Very exciting, isn't it?
Oh, yes, very. State-run propaganda rag. Daddy must have got you the job. Yeah. Well, go on printing the handouts and believing that Pulitzer is a breed of dog. You'll be all right.
Thank you very much indeed.
Dr. Zonderberg's very important, isn't he?
Oh, yes. He's allowed to descend on us piloting his own jump jet. Sort of treatment royals used to get in the days when they didn't have to be disinfected when they went home.
Your attention, please. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for taking the time to be here. My visit is informal and unofficial, hence my welcome here instead of at the Foreign Office. But I would like to put on record my deep appreciation of your fine government's courtesy and my reception. I feel flattered and a little overwhelmed.
Aren't you used to it by now, Doctor? Recognition of your career as power behind assorted presidential desks.
Flattery again, sir.
Doc, excuse me. May I ask which passport you're travelling under, Dr. Zonderberg? Australian, American, Guatemalan?
Guatemalan. It was nearest.
And the most diplomatic. And of course they all are.
Mr. Kyle, do you think other members of the press could get a word in?
With pleasure, Miss Lomas.
What are your plans during your stay here, Doctor?
A visit with a few old friends, play a little golf, admire your English spring.
Do you plan talks with any members of the government?
Only socially, my dear. Absolutely no work this trip. I'm semi-retired and enjoying every minute of it.
Have you any plans to take in our great institutions of learning, Doctor?
Possibly, Mr. Kyle, possibly. Once an academic, always an academic.
It could be. Doesn't sound like his sort of thing, though. When in the old days, when we used to get new models, he would have been the motoring correspondent. Oh, hold on. He's here now. Dave Brett.
Oh, right. Oh, fix something, haven't you? Fine, fine. Oh, bourbon highballs on an empty stomach.
Not like Dave Brett to phone in and be specific on an open line.
Well, he was cagey enough. Why he needs procedure on travel permits for a new vehicle baffles me.
A visiting VIP, he said. Zonderberg? You suppose he wants it for him?
No. That gentleman can organise himself a day return on a rocket ship.
Anything in it for us, do you suppose? Zonderberg's visit?
No, he's a walking diplomatic ad. Print a big photo of his vampire smile and publish the blurb.
What?
Well, for now, anyway. I better go and see Dave.
Mr. Tasker, you're not entirely unknown abroad. They say you masterminded riot control in the 1985 ghettos.
We don't call them riots, sir. We call them social disturbances.
It still established you as quite a ghettos control expert. I know you don't use the word ghettos much either, but we're talking privately. 18,000 houses bulldozed, perimeter fences built, an improved Johannesburg pass system introduced, selective withdrawal of Social Security benefits to weed out troublemakers.
Culbertson's net, the textbooks call it. I was just a member of the team.
But you organized it. Then the follow-up? Tented encampments, resettlement, and 5 metropolitan areas the size of small towns have been peaceful since.
Application of historical practice, no more.
Could you apply this expertise where there was a multi-language problem and illiteracy?
Oh, easily. That simplifies it, you see. Use ideograms, like road signs, Chinese in origin, now applicable universally.
More brands, eh?
Thank you.
Enjoy the meal?
Very much.
I must say I felt a pang when I heard that the House of Lords had been converted into an exclusive dining club for the country's leaders. But the conversion is most tasteful.
I've not been here before. Did you have much trouble getting me in?
A little. Some quibble about your junior status. Comparatively, I mean. The new snobbery.
I'm used to it.
Well, you shouldn't be. With your qualifications, you should be able to move anywhere. At the top.
Oh, no, I don't believe it. I don't believe any of it. Hi-ho for the open road and the song of the wild, wild wind. Is this what you wanted an internal travel permit for, is it?
More than that. Unrestricted. Preferably PCD official.
Oh, yes, yes. Of course, that would be as easy as stealing the crown jewels, except we've already flogged them. It is a bit flash, don't you think? Hmm? Prototype export only.
That's the whole point. It's so obvious it's not suspicious. Especially with PCD papers.
Well, where on earth did you get it from?
Sammy Cahoon.
No. Oh, no.
Well, I don't know. Pieces in a jigsaw. Now, Cahoon wants a deal, right? Big one. So all it costs is to listen his earache. Hmm? Would you stop fiddling with that thing or open it?
Bourbon. Twice in one day.
The main illegal escape route from this country is organized on a commercial basis by a Samuel Joseph Cahoon from the north of England, who extorts every last Anglo dollar he can squeeze from the smuggled-out emigrants, though he prefers any jewelry or valuable metals which may have escaped our National Wealth Inspectorate. He's also a dealer in illicit goods, an intimidator, and a murderer.
I would prefer new facts to the quoting of old files. I opened the one on Calhoun. Get to the point.
There is no point, Mr. Scarton. Just instinct.
Fact, Tasker, if you please. Otherwise, write a memo.
Cahoon is planning a major operation.
Source?
Private.
Unacceptable. We run public control.
Only if it's diplomatically acceptable.
Explain?
Dr. Robert Sonderberg.
Accepted. If there is a connection.
Not yet, but there may be.
Supposition again. We'd better call in Miss Lomas.
Permission to dissent, sir.
Explain?
Total security.
Miss Lomas is fully cleared.
Given Dr. Sonderberg's eminence, I think the fewer people who know, the better, including the Home Secretary.
My master. I trust you won't neglect to keep me fully informed.
Hello, Henry. Have a good lunch.
The steak wasn't recycled hydrocarbons.
Stand by for a rush of real blood to the head.
Miss Lomas, I'm getting a little tired of the acrimony deriving from the cult of personality in this department. You required earlier a formal ruling as to which deputy controller is responsible for Dr. Sonderberg during his visit to Britain. I've just decided Tasker is. That'll be all.
Who's he? He's a friend of mine.
Disappear. Quick.
Who is the ape man?
Buzz Kingston. Hooligan. The best. I've just promoted him.
I'm glad about that. Now look, gopher. Any more lip out of you and you'll be wearing a flat head about 6 inches further into your shoulders.
Hold it, Buzz. I think you're better than he is, but it would only waste time finding out. Have you got a name?
Do you think you could remove them? Thank you.
Jones, Smith, Brown, I'm not fussy.
Oh, well, I am. I'm Sammy Cahoon. North of the Trent, where the savages run around painted blue, I run it. All of it.
Yes, yes, so I heard. Extortion, protection, escape route, bloodsucker. Oh, come off it.
If I'd wanted to be popular, I'd have been born a football pool. Business. Can you get us a mobile? I mean official mobile, travel permit for this wagon?
If he can't, nobody can.
Oh, clever. Can he get us a pilot as well? Somebody wants a one-way ticket for money.
How much money?
And what kind of money? Anglo dollars are so much wallpaper abroad.
50,000. Real dollars. Cash.
Real dollars. What kind of aeroplanes you got to fly?
Oh, none of your light rubbish. I want a vertical takeoff job. A jump jet. Don't worry. It's not loaded.
Only with people.
Clever again. Well?
Sammy, why us?
Because I'm not proud. It's not my patch down here. It's yours, not my contacts. There's 3 networks for shifting people. Yours is the best. Oh, and the cheapest.
Well, you can't get cheaper than free.
And we are not about to enter the vampire business.
Oh, keep your halo on. Here's part of the passenger list. I thought getting some of those people out of the country might appeal to you. You polish your principles, and I'll earn the wages. Even a spiv like me's earned a fair division of labour.
Well, we'll let you know.
Right. Come on.
I'll tell you, we now have the biggest problem of all time.
What's that? Why should we help Cahoon?
No, not that. He is taking out a complete population control team. Tax and status legislators, mind-benders, geneticists to limit and control the breeding, the lot.
This kind of training costs money. Who's paying it?
Dr. Robert Sonderberg. I mean, do you know anybody else who would set up an entire country?
Not offhand, but then my social life is not quite as gaudy as yours.
Ha-ha. So what do we do now?
You say we can get rid of a whole team of people herders and mind adjusters. Okay, let's do it.
I wish the bastards under some other poor, benighted country.
No problem for me. The fewer we have in Britain, the better. End of story.
Well, I'm with you all the way. It's the morality of it that bothers me.
Well, the morals don't bother me at all. But what could keep me awake at night is the PCD. I don't want to end up as a stuffed head in Scarden's desk. But if this Sonderberg is as big and important and as well connected as you and the other newspapers reckon he is, one thing is certain, that the PCD are going to stay glued to him. So how does he recruit his team? Safely, I mean.
Sonderberg could be working for the PCD.
Decoy.
Sitting ducks. Bang, bang, we're dead. You, me, Cahoon, and a bunch of top defectors. That would be the biggest stroke the PCD had ever pulled.
You took it very well, Dilly.
No tantrums, no stamping of feet. Why should I? Henry Tasker knows his job. He's probably told you how Sonderberg left the House of Lords.
Leaders' Club.
Oh, sorry, old habit. Anyway, he left in a limousine he'd borrowed from the president of the Union Federation. Not the one we provided.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear, indeed. The president has it debugged every morning so he can tell dirty jokes and organise even dirtier deals.
Oh, not deals, Miss Lomas. Affirmations of solidarity between Union brothers. And no, there was no report of a transport switch from Tasker. I wonder if I might suggest something irregular.
In office hours, yes.
We are both agreed Tasker needs help.
But won't accept it. In after glory.
Oh, uncharitable. Just too conscious of total security. I think you should provide the help he needs. Quietly.
Without his knowing. If we had mice in this office, Tasker could tell you which key they squeaked in.
Enlist help. Informally.
Ah, from outside.
You could offer suitable inducements, of course.
Could I please be the judge of that, Herbert? Jim Kyle, please.
Spinner.
Billy, over here!
I am a little late. It's all right, gentlemen. Deputy Controller.
About time, too.
You know, when you said to meet you under Clive of India, I thought it had to be absurd enough to be true.
Yeah. That'll teach me not to be funny and you to be punctual. I was in for a basement cell and a belly full of boot.
What a lurid imagination you have. You'd merely have been charged with loitering in a designated area. And due process of law.
Oh, yes, yes. And Father Christmas lives. Get inside.
Here's the unrestricted travel permit you asked for. It's metal stripped to compute into central registration, so you shouldn't have any problems. But why for this passion wagon? You ruin your constitution. Such as it is.
What are you going to have to drink? We got vodka, whiskey, bourbon.
Fine.
As a matter of fact, there's not much doing at the paper these days. Since not many of the British public are allowed to buy motor cars, I thought I'd do a drool feature on what we're exporting, so that civil servants like you can get paid.
Nasty. Not much on, you said?
Yeah, that's right. Next week, horoscopes.
I want a favour for this. If I'm going to abet mobile hanky-panky, I'd like something in return.
Oh, well, naturally, yeah.
Tasker is assigned to the celebrated Dr. Sonderberg.
Ah. And that is a bit of a thumb in your eye, is it?
Not really. I'm assigned to them both. Quietly.
Yeah. So you would like me to keep an eye on them both, quietly?
Well, if there's nothing much on.
Well, why not? A favour is a favour.
Does this thing move?
No, I thought you'd never ask. You can now drive off into the sunset.
You've got a long wait.
I'll be your vagabond, just for tonight.
Not mine, you won't. Just wheel this thing to the nearest garage.
The moon's up above.
It's a trade union limousine. It's safe.
Yes. Must be unique.
This is the first time we've met, Edward. I want to thank you for your help.
Self-interest, Doctor. It's my only chance of getting away. Getting back to what I was trained to do.
Halving infant mortality with primitive communities.
Now I'm just a second-rate citizen punching buttons on a computer to decide which status group should be allowed to have 2 children. Some geneticist, electronics and all.
You'll catch up.
Where?
I'm not at liberty to reveal that. Subtropical, some tribal and nutritional problems.
And an authoritarian government.
Temporarily.
Oh, yes, that's what they said in Britain. Anyway, I should care. There's your population control team. It's taken a year to assemble. Impossible without your position and money. Warning, you've got 2 fanatics and 1 near psychopath. They were all expecting promotion in the PCD. Probably would have got it, too. One idealist.
You.
Somebody has to be. The rest you know about. All near genius, all office and laboratory robots trained for it.
Perfect. Only this country could have produced them. Are they collected?
Yeah, 3 have already arrived at Calhoun's safe house. May Blossom Farm, would you believe? A British gangster with delusions of squirarchy. The rest will be infiltrated over the next 48 hours.
Calhoun seems to be earning his considerable fee.
Blood money. I once approached him privately. And Doctor, the real snag is still to come. You see, this is an island prison. Getting us all together is one thing. Getting us out is something else again.
Close, Kyle. I was going to give you another 10 seconds.
What's the matter? You sound nervous.
I am. You know Baz Kingston, Calhoun's top muscle?
I might.
Kingston's his name, but it's also where his grandparents were born. He's coloured, passing for white. Henry Tasker planted him on Calhoun over a year ago. He works for the PCD. You're blown, Kyle. Run. Goodbye.
Hello, Bowden.
How are you?
How are things up on the wild blue yonder?
Infrequent. Petrol's too short.
And how about our far-flung battle line?
Not anymore. The last outpost of Empire went when the Isle of Man declared independence.
Oh, it isn't like it used to be. Friday nights, when we were wearing our first pair of long trousers.
Coercing dollies in the Carlton Road bus shelter.
You quoting Kipling at one end, me twanging elastic at the other.
Songs of spring.
Do you fancy an early autumn?
How?
One way. Out.
Big smuggling deal?
Sort of. People.
Oh, you do that free. Service one way. I can't afford it. Even pilots have to eat.
Exception this time, Bowden. Your charter rate is 50,000 real dollars, cash.
How much?
50,000. Well?
For that rate, I'd paddle a balloon.
Good old Bowden.
Here's 2 deserters. Flight Lieutenant Bowden opting out, Your Majesty. Farewell, Britannia.
What's up?
We're blown. Baz Kingston was planted by the PCD. By now he knows everything. Names, faces, numbers, past, present, future.
Who put him there?
Henry Tasker.
You said it at the first meet. Us, Calhoun, and a dozen top defectors.
Yeah. And Tasker gets Scarden's job.
You better beat it, Ken. Nobody knows anything about you.
I'd rather not.
Why?
Neither of you know how to fly an airplane.
We may never reach one.
But if you do find a plane, you'd look a right turnip. Do you remember turnips?
Oh, yeah.
Just standing there looking at it.
It's a long way to Tipperary.
Oh, come on, let's go.
Wait till it clears up, Eddie. Then cut the grass nice and short. Just like you was cutting a magistrate's hair.
I was brought up where the stars are upside down, thinking England was a room just like this. Oh, boy. Put it there, Kingston. No, I don't need to explain to you why I'm doing this, gentlemen. Everyone here is a de facto. And if caught, he's also of a specialist caliber that makes him a candidate for an adult rehabilitation center, where they'll turn his mind into a Brussels sprout. If caught.
And this is the latest lie detector on the market. I know. I stole it myself.
Right, you first, Professor Lilly. Just sit down and place your left hand in there. Right, now, did you leave any notes or make any gifts that would indicate you were leaving the country?
No.
And what about your wife?
No.
Children?
No.
We could call it off. Leave Cahoon and Sonderberg to it.
No, Kingston knows who we are.
Only me. Officially and provably, Kyle was elsewhere.
Yeah, perhaps. So you finish up in Mayfield. Do you remember what you said to me once? If they put me in one of those places, get in somehow and kill me.
Still applies. It just might work. I'll wait, Bowden. Ken. Look, we're going to dump the van out of sight. Leave you with it. We'll send somebody to pick you up, okay?
Okay. Just park within reach of some nubile village maiden, huh?
It's the two London smarties. Let them in, will you? What is the matter with you? You got a train to catch or something?
Where's the van? I'll need it.
Later.
And where's the pilot you were supposed to bring?
He's around.
I hope you two mysteries aren't going to get clever.
Us? Never. Why don't you go and sit next to him, Baz, just to make sure.
Nice and easy, Basil. This is an abattoir pistol used to stun cattle, so if you want 300 volts, now's your chance.
That is recording and taping to his bosses at the PCD. Every word we say.
I'm thankful this was your first big job. You'll wear that again, Baz. I'm going to bury you in it. Dirtily. Can we get out of it?
I don't know. We need an electronics expert.
No problem. Sling the Aussie fella in, will you? You want experts, we've got 'em. It's like running holiday camp full of Einsteins. Every one of them gives me the creeps except the Aussie. Do you know, we got one Herbert here who reckons he can process 2,000 human beings a day into obedience. Process? You think he were talking about peas, wouldn't you?
What's up?
I think that this is a transmitter recorder working on a 90-degree flick start. It's immobile now. Well, I think.
That's what it is, and it's Immobile, as you call it. The correct terminology is signal preservation state.
Go to the bottom of the class, Kyle. Write that out 100 times.
Who's it signaling to?
PCD. It's his.
Well, that's it. End of the line. Just wait for the goons and the electrodes on your skull. How close are they?
They're close.
Breathing down your grubby traitors' necks.
Could knock out a horse with that.
Yeah, for a couple of hours anyway.
What do we do now?
Well, this thing still transmits.
Just like I said, the man is clever. Hmm?
And frightened.
For you, Miss Lomas.
The time you've taken, you're a very long way from being my favourite vagabond. How's life on the open road? What?
Of course I'm sure. Under the guise of running an academic seminar, Dr. Robert Sonderberg has recruited a top population control team with the best brains in Britain. He proposes to lift them out of the country, and Henry Tasker knows all the details. In fact, he's known about them for some time.
When and if he intends to divulge them are the questions we must now ask ourselves.
Or Tasker, if he's still here.
Well, that's the takeoff area.
It's tight.
Can you do it?
May frighten a few sparrows.
Can you?
If he says he can do it, he can do it. All right, come on, let's get on with this. Now, you are sure that this machine cannot authenticate voice prints?
No, it's too miniaturized. I hope you know what you're doing.
Well, if I don't, we're all dead, aren't we? All right, come on, let's start. Start it. You better come and listen to this, Baz. Right, pilot, the destination is Normandy. Now, can you get low enough to get under French radar?
I'll pick you some apples for Calvados.
You are, in fact, clearing the Dutch coast. A homing device does the rest. It's on one of Dr. Sonderberg's yachts.
Oh, you had me worried for a minute. I thought I'd gone blind on the flight plan.
We have an audience. There are your lines. All right? All right, pilot. Now, I'd like to go through it again. The rest of it, just to be on the safe side.
Okay. I pick up the aircraft from the golf course designated here, drop it at the far end of the paddock. Arrival time, 6 o'clock precisely.
And how long will you need for passenger embarkation and refueling?
15 minutes on the ground, can't do it in less. Just make sure the fuel bars is coupled and ready to go.
You can't do it any quicker?
No.
All right, Baz, let him in. It's only tea.
When do I get an Oscar?
Why don't you wear this instead, eh? Here you are, son.
Just a minute.
Just like I keep saying, the man's clever.
The motorbike will take you to the golf course. Grab something to eat and be on your way.
Roger, and out. I'm starving.
I'll show you the kitchen.
Take care, Brett.
He's cool. He'll earn his money.
Yeah, like us. The hard way. Now, how about Basil? He's the only one who's seen faces, can hand out the real proof.
Yeah, but I mean, we didn't use names, did we?
My mistake. My problem. He's asleep now, and by tonight he'll be polluting the Manchester Ship Canal. I'm not an idealist, son. I'm not bothered about having nice, clean hands like you are.
Thank you for convening this meeting at such short notice.
Not at all, Tasker. I'm relieved it was your idea. Must be important if you cancelled your lunch at the Leaders' Club.
It is important. The payoff to a year's work.
Edward Carr, Professor Lilly. Some highly trained gentlemen here.
Due to leave for Normandy this evening.
I'll pick you some apples for Calvert House. Arrival time 6 o'clock precisely. 15 minutes on the ground. Can't do it in less.
This evening, you said. Why wait?
The proof needed for a full state show trial.
With you as star witness?
I said, why wait?
At this moment, all we have is a carefully arranged seminar on population control attended informally by some eminent and, in some cases, influential experts. All on official leave, which was my first cause for suspicion. Now, until they're all in that aircraft as it is being refueled, we have absolutely no hard proof that they intend to defect. So, with your permission, I'd like to arrange the usual facilities for this office to serve as the control center for the operation.
I'd fully intended that should be the case.
May I? The paddock where the aircraft will land.
I've checked on the resident geniuses. They can't wait to scamper off to where the sun shines brighter.
And good riddance.
And good money.
How are they?
Sweating.
They all arrived?
All except one fella. We knew he'd be late anyway. Well, you can't expect a full house at every performance, can you?
Sit rep, please.
Surveillance and apprehension force in position round paddock, sir. Ready to move on signal.
And not till then. Repeat, not till signal. Keep out of sight.
That paddock will be swarming with PCD. Hope your boat hole through the woods is going to work.
If I'm the rat that you think I am, and I suppose I am, bolt holes are what I'm good at. Don't forget it's my skin as well.
Yeah, we'll treasure it.
Plane should be here in about 5 minutes. They're all in the summer house. It'll be a real grubby-looking lot when they arrive.
Yeah, well, better crawling through flower beds than finishing up in a hatch at Mayfield.
Ah, that'll be the ghetto control expert.
Hold it. That was that Henry Tasker PCD. Cahoons through the back, Dave. Come on, come on. But you'll probably get that plane. Unfortunately, we can't leave.
I'll handle it.
We get blown. We get blown. Signal clear, sir. Supervising officer inside and on beam.
Patch us to him.
Why are you leaving?
Simple racial prejudice.
Oh, I never met any of that.
No, you wouldn't. You're black. I'm a member of what used to be laughingly called the White Commonwealth, until the 70s legislation turned us all into second-class citizens who had to queue at immigration while Ugandans with Brit passports just went wandering through.
Politicians again.
Yes, live ones. Who forgot about...
All the players we left alongside Britishers. Then the rich, Gallipoli, Dieppe, Tobruk. For another country that we love, but not anymore. When do I meet my fellow passengers? There's no hurry. Have a drink. We've got over an hour.
And everything in position. Really very, very smooth.
Take that transmitter off and shut up. One word will be your last, just one.
Inside signal dead, sir.
Nothing to worry about. Conserving battery.
It's our job, Ted. An hour earlier than you and your gang of vultures expected. I'm going to kill you, Tasker. But I won't. Britain deserves you.
There's a plane just landed, sir, but it's early and not in the paddock. We think it's the woods behind the house.
Get round there, quick. Video contact.
PCD swine. I sent you a postcard from Aussie.
That must be quite a pilot they've got.
And an even better knowledge of traps. Get inside the house, clean up what you can. Full forensic. Signal all roadblocks. Immediate, red, urgent, operational.
Alert air defense?
What immediate air defense? You mean a fleet of puny riot helicopters? Useless. They're running in a jump jet. Damn, damn, damn.
Won't this thing go any faster?
No point. I'd rather talk my way through and crash through a roadblock.
Should be one around the next bend.
Right. You and Cahoon, try and relax. Play cards or something.
Come on, you lot, out.
Sergeant, I think you better examine credentials first. I think you then might moderate your tone.
Sorry, sir. I didn't realise this vehicle was PCD authorised.
By Delhi Lomas. His rank happens to be Deputy Controller.
But this is only for you and another one, sir. I'm afraid I'll have to ask the other gentleman for his papers.
Inspector Basil Kingston of the PCD. Now get that fence out of the road. We're in a hurry.
I'll still have to report this vehicle, sir. It's a red urgent.
Let's hope your report shows a sight more respect than your attitude towards senior officers. Now get the move on.
I will now have a very small heart attack or a very large drink. Or both.
Tired? I put it down to that motorized bedroom of yours.
Tiny, clean living is the only safeguard.
What?
Listen to this. Britain's most valuable cultural export used to be inessentials like Shakespeare or the Royal Ballet. It is now the expertise of population control in which we can proudly claim to lead the world. I can now reveal exclusively details of one of the biggest export deals this country has ever made.
Kyle, Delhi Lomas is downstairs. She wants you urgently.
And not downstairs. With a PCD warrant card, I don't have to wait anywhere. Tell your flunkies. And this is private, Mr. Greaves.
You know, Delhi, if you were wearing corsets, the whalebone wouldn't take the strain.
No, Carl, you will. Just like Henry Tasker took a charge in the leg and will need a week's painful physiotherapy. Just like Herbert Scarden took a 20-minute tongue lashing from our oath of a Home Secretary.
What bruises did you collect?
Full responsibility for the inquiry into the whole affair, which starts with you.
Me, Deli? Now, what have I done? I only did what you told me to do. Just keeping an eye on Tasker and Dr. Sonderberg.
Eye is right. Worm's eye. You were there.
Well, I was in the vicinity.
There's a roadblock report on the vehicle you were driving.
Under authorization, signed by you.
And if I try hard enough, I can find your fingerprints
And
at the
if you
farm.
can't find them at the farm, you'll plant them.
Believe it.
I believe him. And if I publish that?
End of the line for Kyle, crusader and licensed clown. You're on the rope and you know it. Public control means what it says. You helped lose an entire population control team. You were there.
You think?
I know. Gloat in private. Gloat in public, and I'll use your shrunken head as an office paperweight. When they've finished with it at Mayfield. Promise.
Use of that article would only have been icing on the cake. It is enough to have lost a contingent of dangerous men, of which the country that I love is well rid. Deli, I was doing you a favor.
Thank you.